All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and culture and politics, all rolled into one tasty video and doing it for you in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. The pointer was ready before I had finished talking. Check this out, Vitalines. This is my buddy Robbie LeBlanc and his project from last year. Holy crap, Batman. Robbie, first of all, is one of the best singers that you've probably never heard of, which is a shame. If you're in the melodic rock world, you know who Robbie LeBlanc is. Wheels Within Wheels, just a phenomenal album. Has Tommy Denander playing guitar. This kind of tastes like chicken, sounds like Toto. So, you can't describe anything. Kind of sounds like Toto. Toto, Survivor, Foreigner, Foreigner, right? A little bit of Foreigner in there with Robbie singing. Definitely a Lou Graham thing going on. So I'm going to relate that to what I'm going to talk about here. So why do um, people in this industry, the music industry, hate like middle America, conservative type values? Obviously, Donald Trump, I've been talking about how people were hoping that the shooter wouldn't have missed, right? This is incredible stuff. I saw a video of some lady at a Home Depot who was confronted because online, see, Facebook is not a good place. It's not a good place. Um, she was one of those people that said, "Wow, it's too bad they missed." And so somebody confronted her because she tells everybody, because her whole profile is available. I work at Home Depot. I do this. And so somebody came up to her and said, "Are you the one that said that you hoped that they don't miss next time," or however she phrased it? And she's like, "I'm at work." And it's like, why are people so just hell bent against things that would help a lot of Americans, right? This is the thing that perplexes me. Put aside the personalities, put aside some of the super conservative values, like Stevie Nicks. She's always going to support the person that supports the most abortion. She always will, right? Because she has thanked abortion a number of times for not breaking up Fleetwood Mac. And imagine, though, the talent that the kid would have had. And we could have used that talent right about now with everybody kind of fading out, people who can't sing anymore. Not saying she's in that category, but she certainly, you know, is a little different than she used to sound, just a little. So this article from 2016, I immediately pulled this up. 29 artists who have spoken out against Donald Trump so far. So this was literally 8 years ago, almost to the day. Came out July 18th of 2016. And whether tweeting out their disdain, pulling their music from association with a candidate, or simply using their platform to urge fans to go out and vote, artists are using their voice to go against Donald Trump. All right. And here's a guy who came from the entertainment business. So what is it? I mentioned the abortion thing. And by the way, he's been moderating his position. Nobody is going to go find that information out. He's kind of moderate on this now. He is moderated a lot. He had a woman who had a very nefarious past speak at this Republican convention. And some people who are more conservative were rather outraged by that. He can, for some reason, if he, sends out olive branches, the industry itself likes to just chop those branches down. Nope, not him. He's a buffoon. Well, which buffoon do you want? All right, let me put it that way. Do you want the buffoon who makes the gas prices go down, makes the interest rates go down, makes the economy better for everyday Americans, people who are likely going to buy tickets, right? So you go and you put on these concerts and people say, "I'd love to go," but between the Ticketmaster monopoly, right, with the venue and everything, your tickets are $300 a piece, and you can't afford that. And that's before you put them in the cart and realize now you have fees and then you have parking. It's insane. So if you have a better economy, right, more people will go out and see your shows. I guess, though, you can't price gouge if you have a good economy. If people say, okay, I'm going to have to spend $100 on gas on top of everything else to get to this concert, they're more likely to go if the expenses are lower. Doesn't this make sense? Isn't this a thing? For most people, it's a thing. Okay. I'm just saying, from my standpoint, from the people I talk to, lower prices are better, a more peaceful world. But you've got people tweeting out, I stand with Ukraine. I stand with this. I do that. I think we should bomb this country. That's the right thing to do. Let's send all our money overseas. Of course, people don't think through any of these issues, especially in the entertainment world. They just climb on to the next thing. That's what they do. Oh, here's a thing. Here's I'm going to put a little Ukrainian flag in my profile picture and show my support for this great country because Putin is evil. And, you could make a comparison and say, well, they're both kind of not the best people. The guy who runs Ukraine, and we're sending all this money over there. And so rock stars support that. So if we're sending all that money over there, we're causing inflation, right? So that inflation is preventing people from going to see your concerts. I mean, because people are going to choose, well, do I go to a concert or do I buy food? Do I put gas in my car or do I go to I can't do both. So, I mean, back in 2016, when people were saying, oh, 29 artists, and I think that number is a lot higher. We had 4 that I found who were really upset about the shooting. We had 4, okay? The rest of everyone else was silent. Then you had guys who were saying things like the lady at Home Depot, it's too bad that they missed. And in the old days, people who would say things like that, and I'm not advocating for this, but some of those people might have gotten a knock on the door from the FBI. And I think the FBI is a corrupt organization, but it just shows how serious that used to be. It's no longer serious. It's a joke. In fact, I think the entire entertainment industrial complex supports rhetoric like that. You had a guy on television telling people who wanted to take a medicine that won the Nobel Prize that they were taking horse paste, okay? And that hospitals could refuse them because they weren't doing the little elf protocol. This is a guy who's a clown, who's an entertainment clown, who's on at 11:30 at night when most people have decided, you know what? I've seen enough bad news today. This guy isn't going to cheer me up. So I'm going to sleep. I'm in bed much earlier than that, thank goodness. But in the old days, you could actually get a good laugh before you went to sleep with Johnny Carson and Jay Leno, even David Letterman to some degree. But now it's like, let's just keep the propaganda going. So the entire entertainment world seems to be aligned against the people who would make them money if they were, number one, neutral. If they could just be neutral, they don't even have to be pro, Trump or pro MAGA or whatever. All they would do is just be, if they could just be neutral and be an equal opportunity offender. Like George Carlin used to be. George Carlin used to offend everybody on both sides. That's what made him great. I mean, I didn't care for some of his language and I didn't care for some of the things he said about Christians. But overall, I mean, he was a prophet. Your immune system needs practice. Go look that up. That's just brilliant stuff. But I just completely marvel at how out of proportion the entertainment world is. And they don't understand. They don't understand middle America. They didn't understand J.D. Vance, even though Ron Howard actually made a movie out of the Hillbilly Elegy book, which you can go watch. And it's very interesting. I mean, this isn't a guy who isn't relatable. to most of America. The only people he's not relatable to are the elite people on the East and West coasts. That's the only people that don't get JD Vance. And I'm thinking a lot of Democrats can understand JD Vance, and he's actually a really good pick for vice president. Finally, somebody who's under the age of 100, who's, I'm just kidding, 60, right? I mean, somebody who's a little bit younger who can navigate this mess if, God forbid, the next shooter doesn't miss. You know what I mean? This is, and I'm tired of it. I listen to these people and I go, you don't relate to me. And I'm not that much younger than, this demographic that is really kind of running things these days. I mean, these are all the people, like I said during the thing-demic, right? I said that all these people who were rebels in the 60s and early 70s are now in charge of everything. And they're acting 180 degrees differently than they did back in those days. And I just don't where are the rebels? Where are the people who are sticking it to the man? Vivek the other night said, you want to be a hippie? I didn't get that at first, but now I get it. You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Have a family, get married, get a good job. It's countercultural now to do those things. And so anyway, why do they hate so much? I don't know. Maybe they're just miserable people. I think that could be part of it. There's got to be something, like they don't want us to be too prosperous or too successful. They don't want certain people to get credit for the success and the prosperity. I mean, who cares who gets the credit? I don't care if it's a Democrat, a Republican, a libertarian, a monkey. I don't care who gets the credit, so long as it gets done. I mean, the border, come on. So everyone is for unlimited illegal immigration, nonstop. Everyone is for fentanyl on the streets. Yep, the rock community. Yeah, we like drugs in there. See, this is the problem. It's a credibility issue because it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? I mean, you're driving down the road and Hot Blooded comes on the radio, and my kid's like, Dad, what does she need to do? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, he says, do you do more than dance? I'm like, oh no. Oh no. So I think about this and I go, yeah, the rock and roll world has not set the greatest example. And that's a fun song. It's a tame song. Does she do more than dance? And I say, yeah, you know what? It's does she mow the lawn? Does she take out the garbage? Does she paint the house? I mean, hey, as you get older, certain things tend to be more of a priority, right? I'm here all week, by the way. Don't forget, you can buy me a coffee. There'll be a link if this stand-up routine is good, which it's okay. It's kind of mediocre. But yeah, does she do more than dance? She does. She'll paint the house. Bottom line, folks, is the rock and roll world is geared for sex, drugs, and then music is apparently last. It's sex, drugs, and then rock and roll. It should have been rock and roll first before anything else. We stand for rock and roll, just like some people say, you know what? America first, right? Put America first before other countries and other ideas. It's the same thing. People are like, yeah, I may not like some of the other stuff they talk about in this platform, but I'd like to buy a house someday. And interest rates are 8%, and I can't buy a house. I can't spend $3,000 per month on a mortgage. I can't do it. I don't have enough money to put down on this house. And so on and on it goes. And things were better. 2017, 2018, 2019. Into 2020, things got a little bit dicey, right? But overall, those early years there, the first 3 years were pretty good. And a lot of people are just doing a logical thing. They're not saying, gee, I think Donald Trump is the Pope. Actually, that would be a bad thing if Trump was the Pope, the way the Pope is now. So, Donald Trump, I think he's the same as Franklin Graham, okay, who just spoke last night. Pretty much everybody knows that's not true. right? Just like everybody has a fault, everybody has a past. It's what are you going to do for me tomorrow? How are you going to make this pain go away? And the rock community, I don't know. I think they're just there's a level of guilt that they carry, and they would never grow out of this stuff that caused so much carnage. People like they talk about, all of the drugs they did and all the sex they had, and it's all just, oh, those were great days, those were the best days of my life. No, I don't think so. It's spawned at least another generation or two of the same activity. And some people in this current generation, like the younger people, I think they see that what their grandparents did is some of what they did, was very bad for the culture, and it's left a lasting impact on it. That's why I just marvel at people that want to go back to those days and not be critical of some of the things that happened in those days where, you know, it wasn't all great memories. Some of it was a lot of bad decisions, which caused people illness, sometimes death, and just bad habits overall. And some people learn. Some people go through a 12-step program and they recover from all of it, not just substances, but they recover from the selfish way that they lived, and they change. Even if they just change a little bit, it's better than just staying the same. And I think what's happened is this enzyme, this virus, if you will, has been passed down from one generation to the next, and it's still there. That's why, in 2016, the knee-jerk reaction from 29 different artists was to say that Donald Trump is Satan. Okay, well, that kind of stuff might lead to violence. It might lead to somebody who's mentally unbalanced doing something unthinkable, which apparently happened on last Saturday. So anyway, food for thought. If you're playing Hot Blooded in the car and you have to explain to your kid what she's going to do more than dance, does she do more than dancing? Yeah. Say she mows the lawn and she paints the house, and that's what you want to look for in a woman. That's really chauvinistic, huh? Well, at least it deflects the actual thing that Lou Gramm is inquiring about in the song, showing you folks that even in the most innocent of songs, at least I thought so, it might not be so good to have to explain that to your kid. And that's my video. God bless everyone. Pray for peace. Pray for the current president and possibly the future president. Pray for everyone in these positions, as our country is really in a bad place right now. And we kind of all knew it would be. It's 2024. Hopefully it's not going to get any worse than 2020 was, but it's only July.